Hello.
Hello, this is Rudy Davis. You had called earlier about free.
Yes.
Let me ask you before we get started. Do you mind if I record our conversation for others who want to?
Fine.
Okay,
Fine
great.
with me.
Great. Well, I got a lot of questions, and I guess if you don't mind, if you want to introduce yourself and you know how you know about free Lazor and whatever you want to say. But I did try to put money on his phone account today, but I simply haven't figured out how to do that. I'm still going to have to work on that, I guess.
Oh, okay. You just go to Global Tel Link, and I have their phone number I can give you.
Oh, good.
And then you tell them that you would like to open an account, and you can put increments of $5. I always put $20, and then anytime it gets below $5, I have them automatically add 20 more off my credit card.
Oh, good.
Because
okay.
They used to do it differently, but anymore, if you don't have an account with Global Tel Link, he can't even call you.
Okay.
And of course, no one, not even his attorney, can call him ever.
Wow. Now say that again. His attorney can never call him?
No.
Why not?
They just don't allow him, none of the inmates, to get any calls.
Yeah, they can't call him, but he can call out to them if he wants to.
Yes, if
okay.
the attorney will accept his call, he can call them.
I understand. You don't happen to have the number to Global Tel Link off the top of your head, do you? It's just so I can...
No, but I should have brought my glasses.
No, it's no problem.
Let me get my glasses.
No, it's okay. I should be able to find it. Okay.
I'm a caregiver, and I work 24 hours a day, 5 days straight through. So she was on the phone, and I couldn't hear you if I stayed there.
Okay. No problem.
Okay, just a minute. I have to get my glasses.
Okay. Yeah, take your time.
Okay, one of their numbers is 866.
Yep.
697 6006.
6006?
If you have trouble reaching someone at that one,
okay.
Call 877.
Yep.
650.
Okay.
4249. And you just tell them who you are and that you'd like to open an account. So a friend of yours who's an inmate at Salinas Valley State Prison, you have PS information, right?
Yes. I have all that. So, okay. No, I will definitely do that after we get off the phone, and I'll make sure there's some money on the account. Would you mind maybe mentioning who you are and how you know free Lazor?
I'm his surrogate mother. I met him when he was only 27 years old, which was 22, which was 7 years before this whole incident happened to him.
Gotcha. Now, just a little bit that I know about him and that I can recall, keep in mind I have a prison ministry and there's like 30, 40 prisoners, so sometimes I get them mixed up. But if I recall correctly, he was a very famous guy, Buddy Holly Jr., very good musician.
Yes.
And somebody broke into his house and he shot him in self-defense and he went to prison.
Right.
Well, how did that happen? I mean, if somebody breaks into your house, all of
more to the story than that.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah, he's the most brilliant, talented, appreciative person I have ever met. When this thing happened, he had 10 business successfully operating. He taught skydiving. He had the Buddy Holly band. If you wanted a logo for your business, he could do that. If you wanted him to teach you how to organize your house, your clothes, your shopping, whatever, he'd give you classes in that. He taught skydiving. I maybe already said that. Anyway, so he was renting a house, and the owner said, P.S., you're going to have to move in a few months because I'm going to tear this house down and build condominiums. And P.S. said, oh, okay, that's fine. Well, Mr. Garnier owned the house, and he was a big mucky-muck guy in Los Gatos. And his nephew came to town, John Allred, and didn't have a job or any place to stay. And P.F. sometimes rented out some of the other bedrooms in the house, and he had an empty one. So I said, well, John can stay here for 2 weeks. 3 weeks go by, John's still there, so very nicely. He says, we agreed on 2 weeks, and it's been 3, so I'd appreciate it if you'd move. And John said, fine, but I don't have any place to put what little furniture I have or belongings. Can I leave them here till I get a place? And P.S. said, yes, that's fine. Well, I think somewhere in between there, his uncle probably said to him, no one has said this, but it's the only thing that makes any sense. Well, if Mr. Lazor were not buying this house, you would have inherited. No, he wouldn't. He was going to tear it down. Anyway, so shortly after this other thing happened, and John had hepatitis B, but he also was on recreational drugs at the time. And when he was kind of zany.
Mm-hmm.
So 3 times he attacked PF and kind of roughed him up and said, if you don't back out of buying this house, I'm going to kill you. Well, the first time it happened, PF went to the Los Gatos Police Department.
Now let me stop. He said John said if you don't buy this house, I'm going to kill you.
Back out of. Back out of buying it.
Oh, back out of buying it. I got you. Okay.
Yeah, he didn't want him to buy it because he thought he was going to inherit it. And the only way he could have thought that would have been if his uncle told him, if Mr. Lazor weren't buying this house, you would have inherited.
Oh, I see. I see. So
Lie.
he wanted the house because he thought he was going to inherit it, and he didn't want PF to buy it. Okay.
Right.
Okay.
Correct.
Okay.
So, PF, the first time John attacked him, PF went to the Los Gatos police and reported it. And they said, too bad, he's Mr. Garnier's nephew, and we're not doing a thing. Tougho, you're on your own.
Wow.
Well, we learned after PF had been in prison about 3 years that the Los Gatos police, Mr. Garnier had about a third of the Los Gatos Police Department in his pocket. I learned it from an attorney and 2 other sources. Anyhow, so PF decided, I think I better move out of the house till escrow closes. And so he was just taking the things he had to. And he would never shoot a rabbit or a bird or anything, but he loved to target practice. So he had a .45, a little target practice pistol. And that was going to be the last thing he put in the car, in his glove box. And his bedroom was also his office. And from inside, you could just open the door. But if you're in the hallway, the door is locked. Well, John still had a key to the front door because he still had, his belongings in that bedroom. So another thing, PF was a realtor, and he had a client on the phone. And he hears John on his door. He can tell he's high. He's screaming and yelling, I'm going to kill you, you MFer. And he's kicking and he's banging. And finally, he knocks the door off the hinges. The door slides across the room and hits PF in the leg. The phone cord is stretched across the room because his desk is in that position from where the phone plugs in. John has a meat cleaver in one hand and a little gun in the other hand, and he's coming up towards PF screaming, I'm going to kill you.
Okay, so let me stop you there. He has a meat cleaver in one hand and a little gun in the other? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
So he's got a gun. He's got a gun and a meat cleaver, and he's attacking PF.
Well,
okay.
It turns out it's a BB gun or something, but it looks like a real gun.
Oh, I see. Okay, all right.
So the only thing PF has at all to protect himself is his target practice gun that's on the desk. And, of course, he's panicky. This guy's close to him and coming towards him, and as John comes in the room with the meat cleaver, he takes the meat cleaver, grabs the cord to the phone and yanks on it, which rips it out of the wall and out of PF's hand, disabling the phone. Now, the gal that PF was talking to on the phone hears this whole thing. But when it came to the trial, the police had scared her so badly that she wouldn't testify.
Oh, no.
Anyway,
okay.
Yeah, they do that. Anyway, so all PF could do is pick up his pistol. Well, he was, kind of,
yeah.
The first 2 shots went wild. He didn't want to kill him. He just wanted to stop him. So the bullet went through his shoulder and out the other side. And that caused him to start to fall. And as he was falling, another bullet just kind of grazed the skin on his scalp, enough to make it bleed. But John, went to the floor. So PF rushed next door, called the ambulance first.
Yeah.
Then called the police. Took the police 3 minutes to get there. Took the ambulance 20 minutes to get there. Well, when the police came, John's up walking around. But the ambulance takes a... Pardon?
No, it sounds like nobody's died at this point. Nobody's hurt seriously, right? Okay, all right, okay.
So it takes the ambulance 20 minutes to get there. Then they goof off 20 minutes. 20 minutes to the hospital. And John bleeds to death.
Oh, my goodness.
It turns out he has 3 more bullet wounds, which never gets mentioned in the trial, and they were not from PF. So PF thinks the police probably shot him because, Mr. Garnier was their big mucky-muck. Anyway, the whole trial was just full of lies and misrepresentation. The only attorney P.F. knew were friends of Mr. Garnier's. They had met at a party.
Well, so so he thinks the police. Let me stop you there and ask. So P.F. thinks the police shot John 3 more times, and
somebody did.
Wouldn't P.F. have heard that if he's next door? Even if he's next door, he would have heard 3 gunshots, right? I mean, that's like.
Well, he was up walking around. I think it happened after that. I don't know when it happened.
Wow. My goodness. Okay, so somebody put 3 more bullets into John, who is the nephew of the uncle who owns the house. This muckety muck, right? Mr. Garnier, I guess. And why would anybody want John dead? I mean, other than, is there anybody?
He was not a very desirable relative. We were a big mucky muck in town.
I see. He's always on drugs, and he's messing up people's reputations. And I got you. Okay.
Anyhow, so P.F. was out on bail. His parents, all the money he made, he turned around and put it back into the businesses. And the thing he was most interested in career-wise was the movie business and his Buddy Holly band. And he had been in a few movies as, small parts. And he's a prolific inventor. He had 6 patents and 6 more pending. He's a prolific songwriter. He had thousands of songs he'd written.
Is there any songs that we could hear? How can we hear some of his songs? And I'm curious on what type of things he invented. But if we want to hear some of his songs, are they on YouTube or is there places?
I think if you go on Facebook, it tells you how to get to
some of his songs.
Okay,
yeah. We would love to. We would love to do that. Do you recall any of the things that he invented?
Well, after he went to prison, he invented many things that hadn't been on the market yet, but then came on the market. I never really knew what things he invented. One was the lipstick with the flavors.
Oh, okay.
Just small stuff.
No, that's cool.
Gayle, I can't look at anything without figuring out a way to make it better.
So your name is Gayle. I know you said you were.
Yes.
Okay, so I'll give your first name.
And it's Gayle.
Gayle. Okay, Gayle.
Yeah.
So.
But a friend of mine said, "Don't tell everybody all the things he does because nobody is going to believe anybody has that many talents that he does." But he says, because then they won't believe that, then they won't believe anything you say. So I try to remember not to go.
No, I understand. We have other political prisoners that are inventors too. So this is not unusual. But he spent 35 years in prison already, right? He's been in prison 35 years.
Yes. They gave him 17.
They only sentenced him to 17 years, but how come they haven't let him out? If he's
because every time his parole comes up, just before his parole hearing, they write him up a bunch of false rule violations. Doesn't give him time enough to prove they're false, and then when he goes to the parole hearing, they say, "Oh, too bad, too many rule violations, can't let you out." And none of them are the kind of things that would apply out in the world. Things like torn sheets, which P.S. that's how we get them from the laundry. When we get them, they're torn.
Oh, wow. Torn sheets.
This man in this part of the building, but he wasn't even there. Or because he beat someone up. No, the guards had him beaten up and threatened his life, but then they don't do anything to the guy. They said, "Okay, kill him if you can." They write him up.
Wow.
Just all kinds of horrible stuff.
The very first letter that he ever wrote to me, he talked about TBI, traumatic brain injury. So it sounds like he's been through the ringer.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably 20 years ago. He had hollered, the music is so loud you can hardly stand it. He said it vibrates your whole room. He just couldn't stand it anymore, and he hollered out through the bars, "Would you please turn it down?" And the next day, 3 of the inmates there held him down and kicked him repeatedly in the head. And from then on, he'd have seizures off and on, and loud noises. Sometimes we'll just send him right to the floor.
The Salinas Valley State Prison, when I look him up on that website, it doesn't really give me any details of his release date. Does he have a release date at all? I mean,
No.
Wow. Is it just?
They don't plan to ever release him.
They hate him that much, huh?
He should have got out in 1992. Well, he'd been in about 5 years, and the only person of the employees of California Department of Corrections that had ever returned my calls or did what they said they would was a fellow named Joe Koch. And I said to Joe, why is it about 40% of the staff just make his life a living hell? And he said, well, Gayle, you got that right. It's about 40%. And I can tell you exactly why. He said, anytime an inmate comes in with more on the ball than they feel they have, they're jealous, they're mad, they want to just make your life terrible. And I said, well, does he flaunt it? And he said, heavens, no. He said, you know, P.F., you can't be around him more than 5 or 10 minutes. I mean, you can see he's very articulate, well-spoken, mannerly, pleasant, extremely brilliant, blah, 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 blah. So they do all kinds of things to him that they don't do to any of the other prisoners. He must have 30 affidavits from different inmates who have written up affidavits saying, hey, we've never seen him do this, and they'll say what it is to any other inmates. Why are they doing this to, you know, we witnessed it. We know they do this and that and the other.
Wow. Yeah.
And he's been set up by the guards 5 times to have other inmates actually kill him.
My goodness.
Heavenly Father has rescued him.
He is a Christian then. He's a Bible-believing
yes.
Yeah. Amen. Praise God.
That's what keeps him going, is his love for God.
Amen. Amen. Well, my goodness, Gayle, it sounds like I just learned about, P.F. I think he likes to be called Free now, Free Lazor. His letters.
Well, because his name is George, although he probably doesn't want me to tell you that.
Okay.
But when he was studying to be all those things, when he had all those businesses going, he gave his name P.F., meaning free, meaning financial freedom. And then after he'd been in prison about 5 years, he said, hey, I better drop the free. And then he changed it to just free, F-R-E-E, and now it's a verb, Free Lazor, and a noun.
Okay, well, very good. Free Lazor. And I know that we've got his website and his Facebook page. And he said that he's going to try to call me, and I'm going to try to continue to put his voice out so people can learn about him, and hopefully something will happen. The Lord will open up a pathway and make a miracle. I guess I'm trying to think. He's 64 years old now, right? He's six. That's the.
He's born in 1954. So yeah.
Yeah.
This March,
Okay.
He just turned 64. He doesn't really like people to know his age or his birthday.
Yeah, he told me that he didn't want me to know his birthday, but I figured out how old he is. He's at least 64, so.
Yeah.
Okay.
But,
well, what do you think people can do?
He's the kind of person, once he's out, there's so many things that are unjust to the criminals, even bad guys. They don't honor their civil rights, and I'm sure he's going to be trying to do some things to. They get away with everything, so the guards and that do anything they want. And
yeah.
Will point out, hey, this is against rule number blah, 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 and they say, we don't care. And they don't.
Right.
They get away with it.
No, the prison
Same
system is terrible.
Board.
Yeah, the prison system is absolutely terrible.
Right. When I say to the parole board, don't you notice that he doesn't have rule violations except just before a parole hearing? Doesn't that seem a little strange? Even a stupid person's not going to do it. And they say, we don't care, and they don't.
Wow. So mainly, you think he's been targeted, and I've got other prisoners that fall into this category. They're very charismatic. They're very articulate. Kent Hovind was a very popular preacher down in, I think it was Florida, and I call it the tall poppy syndrome. They just have a very charismatic attitude, and regular people that don't have the Lord will get very jealous because they just don't like.
Right.
And so I guess that sounds like what's happened to P.F. Free Lazor. So.
Right. Have you ever heard of their program for where they put you if they think you're suicidal?
Oh, yeah, Suicide Watch, where they strip you and put you in a cell, and they mistreat you like crazy, and they can, yeah.
Well, the cell's about 6 by 8. You have no table, no chairs, no bed, a cement slab, no pillow. They take all your clothes, shoes, socks, underwear, glasses, hearing aid, watch. They leave the lights on bright 24/7, so you don't know what day it is, what time it is, cold air blowing on you. Nope, I don't think you can get a pillow. You have one quilt, and it's thick, and it's the same kind of quilt they use to protect furniture when it's in a moving van, which is hard to wrap up in.
Right.
The rule is, the prison's rule, no one can be kept there more than 2 weeks. They kept him there 30 days, and I think they're surprised he didn't go crazy. Most people, that would send you crazy. Not to know what day it is, time, nothing.
Right. It sounds like he's really been mistreated in prison, which is it's shocking still to hear stories like this. But I know that it's very common in the prison system. They're not held accountable, and our society has let this happen. So we're going to do our best to make people aware of Free Lazor. I've just found out about him. What do you think people can do other than write him encouraging letters and maybe put some money on his commissary account?
We need to get a group together and storm the Capitol. I think we need to get a really.
I like the way you think, Gayle.
Paper journalist who will really write his story up big and spread it everywhere.
You're aware that
to the governor.
You're aware that he got an article in American Free Press here not too. Okay,
yes,
okay.
That just happened. Yes.
So you think we should be storming the castle, right? The governor, picketing the prison, and just
I do.
Yeah. Okay.
Because this could happen to anyone.
You're right. You're right. Well, Gayle, I'm gonna do the best I can to, like Gideon's Army, make noise and shine light about Free Lazor, and I hope that when he calls, any information that he can share with me, we'll try to consolidate it on a webpage. I know he has a webpage already, and thank you for taking some time out to share his story. Is there anything else that we need to know other than keep him in our prayers, write him letters, and storm the castle?
Not that I can think of, but if you think of any questions you have, feel free to call me.
Okay, as I learn more about his case, I might reach out to you, and I certainly appreciate your time. God bless you, Gayle.
You too, thank you.
Okay, bye-bye. Wow, that was Gayle, Free Lazor surrogate mother, and she tells an all-too-common story about political prisoners in America, and we as a society have let this happen. And the last letter from Free Lazor said he could prove his innocence, and so I think it's worth our time to investigate his case and see what this is all about. If you want to read about it, on issue 14 of American Free Press, you can buy the article for 99 cents and read it on your smartphone. You have to download the American Free Press app. Thank you for your time.